Hello and benvenuto to Life's Questions and Lessons, the Self Reflection Podcast. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited that you're here with me today. Let's get started with today's question. Where can you give yourself space today? Where can you give yourself space today? So, we recently had a podcast episode on where can you give yourself grace today. So, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you take a moment to listen to that. But these are kind of my two go tos. I don't know about you, but I've definitely found certain little quick sayings, a few word things that kind of ground me back into what matters, what I can control. When my emotions are going all over the place or just whatever, it just kind of grounds me. There's certain things. And this space and grace kind of, I don't know if you would call it a continuum, but they kind of balance together, and when I think of the word space, there's a lot of meanings for that word for me. So it's physical space, obviously, like your environment, like your physical space, the space inside your body, so your vessel. But when I was thinking about this question and really bringing it to the podcast, it was in terms of mental and emotional space, right? Sometimes we feel like we have to respond to whoever is texting us. We have to respond to emails and phone calls and everyone else's needs. And what I have found over the years is you do not have to do anything but die. Sorry, that might sound morbid. I actually don't have a lot of morbid feelings about death. Death is something that is a part of life. But the point is, you do not have to do a lot of a lot of the things that you feel obligated to do. And when you're feeling overwhelmed or just feeling like too many people need too many things from you, if that's where you are right now, I really recommend you taking a moment to go to wherever your place is in your house, in your, outside where there's trees, and give yourself a physical change in space. And then also the permission to have space for yourself, to not respond, to turn off the phone, turn off whatever it is that is asking for your attention so that you can give your mind, body, and spirit the attention that it needs. And this is something that comes up, giving ourselves space, comes up a lot in the work that I do. And if you find that this is, more helpful and you want me to dig a little deeper in this, I'm happy to. But for right now, just if you even feel resistance with exploring that question, right? If you're exploring your thoughts and beliefs around, where can you give yourself space? And you're like, oh, I can't give myself space. I really encourage you to look at that. Why do you think, like my earlier example about responding to texts and emails and phone calls, why do you think that you have to respond to those things? What do you think would happen if you gave yourself the space that you desire? And really, really trust those insights. I'm here as a guide, and I will say there are some things that we talk about on the podcast that I am more well versed in. Space is like number one. I can tell you from years of experience, I have not lost a friend, a family member, anybody who is supposed to be in my life by giving myself space. And I will say that again. I have not lost a friend, a family member, a partner, a colleague, etc., from giving myself space if they are meant to be in my life. So that is what I had on my heart today. I really, really hope this episode has been helpful for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.